Kia ora tātou, ko Peter Mersi toko ingoa, ko te tunu whakarai mō ngā waka. Hello everyone, I'm Peter Mersi, I'm the Secretary for Transport. It's important to recognise that the environment that we've created over the past 50 years can make it hard for some people, including women, to feel like that they can be part of our engagement, our communication and our decision making. And I think it's incumbent on us to try and change that environment and embrace and welcome women into that. Now that can mean looking for the signs that perhaps someone isn't putting a view forward when you can see at the table that they have something to contribute. Importantly, it also means being prepared to be vulnerable, being prepared for them to challenge your ideas and accept it with the grace in which it's given, which is that people will bring different perspectives, which is why it's so important to have a diversity around the table, and it's important that we learn how to embrace it and do it in a way which reinforces the importance and the gift that they're doing by sharing that view with you. To me, a balanced team in a gender sense and indeed in a broader inclusive sense is really important. I think when you have a balanced team, the behavioural dynamic is different, the way people think and talk and challenge each other is different, and you actually get much better outcomes as a result. So one of the things that I personally do to ensure that the environment is as supportive for women as it can be is to look for those signs, for example in a meeting where someone might be a little hesitant, and to make it easy for them to be part of the conversation. It also means proactively looking at things such as the gender pay gap and ensuring that through the set of decisions that may have been taken for good reason, that we haven't unintentionally introduced a bias into the system which is impacting negatively on women. When we do our recruitment, it's really important to ensure that you've got a gender-balanced appointment panel, again to ensure that you're not getting some sort of unconscious bias coming in favour of one particular gender. If I was speaking to a male colleague, I'd encourage them to recognise the value of ensuring that the environment is inclusive and that women are just as valued as men. One of the things I hear sometimes is that, but this will mean that as men, the opportunities for us are going to be less. I don't buy that, and I think it's a narrow frame. All of us should want the best for New Zealand. All of us should want to work in an environment which is inclusive and accepting of who we are. To me, that means that we as men should stand up and say, actually, if it means that my opportunities are less, it's because there's a fairer playing field, a more open and inclusive playing field, and I'd certainly encourage that. Here at the Ministry of Transport over the last 4 years, we've worked quite hard to ensure we've got a good gender balance, both at the senior team level and down through the organisation. And that's all about ensuring that there's a really good culture, a really good supportive culture. And to get there, it does mean ensuring that people are encouraged to put themselves forward for promotion, to support women in particular, because they can sometimes feel less confident than a man to put their hand up for the same role, and to ensure that you're giving them the same sorts of opportunities. Flexibility in the workplace, the ability to adopt flexible hours, flexible working arrangements, are important for both genders, but the reality is it can impact on women more than men. So again, having an environment where flexible working arrangements are encouraged and we actually care about the fact that someone wants to spend more time at home with their family but still commit to the organisation. So finding a really happy balance in there means people can bring their whole selves to work, and that makes for a great place to work and great people and a great organisation. So all of that means encouraging women in the workplace is something we actually should all want to do, because it'll make it a much better place for us to be. In addition to the things I do within the organisation, I'm also fortunate to be one of the co-chairs of Papa Pounamu. So along with Naomi Ferguson, we have a leadership role across the public sector, looking at how we encourage and ensure diversity and inclusion. We've got a program that all of the chief executives have agreed to, which is designed to ensure that our workplaces become more inclusive, that we're thinking actively about how to remove barriers to gender or race or ethnicity or religion, to make sure that we can all be who we are and bring the best of ourselves to work. I'm really proud of being able to take on that role, and I think we are seeing, as we get traction on that over time, ultimately we will end up with a public sector that accurately depicts, reflects and responds to our communities. My vision for the public sector is that ultimately we create an environment where diversity and inclusion is a natural part of what we do. It means that as a man, it's really important that I am seen as an ally for those who currently find it harder to reach their potential. And I hope that other men would do the same thing. Because ultimately what we want to do is create an environment where over time, that's just who we are. That we create an environment where everything we do is naturally going to be inclusive, creates an environment where people can be who they are, can be comfortable in who they are, can share their aspirations and their insights, because as a result of that, we will be a better public service.